I've seen more leaders lose their ability to lead and influence and impact other people because they could not control their emotions, specifically their temper, than any other single reason why you're going to destroy yourself as a transformational leader. Listen, we can disagree disagreeably. There's lots of people I know that I just absolutely disagree with them, probably about 100%. I can still talk to them. I can still interact with them. You know? Now, have I always been that way? No. I'm going to tell you, I have a quick temper, a really quick temper. I'm going to tell you a story. I may not have enough time to finish the other two. You need to hear this story. In my office one day, an employee comes in my office. His name was John. You need to know that I did not like John. I admit that to you. And apparently John didn't like me very much. And so all of a sudden there was a tender box here, you know. I'm an HR guy. I'm a big shot. I'm hiring, firing, I'm promoting, I'm transferring, I'm in charge. John is an hourly worker. That's how I saw him. John is an hourly worker. John comes into my office and proceeded to tell me about a problem he had. I was not interested in his problem. And I sat there, and the more I heard him talk, and I realized he was just dumping his problem in my lap, and I decided for the first time, and many of you have said this, that you're going to do this. I'm telling you, I did it. I thought, I'm going to tell him what I think of him. I did. I didn't hold back. I told him what I thought of him. You know what he did? He told me what he thought of me. I wasn't expecting that. Doesn't he know who I am? Doesn't he realize I can fire his butt? At that point, when you attack someone personally, the only thing you can expect in return is a defensive counterattack. They're going to fight back. Everybody is in one way or another. And the next thing you know, we're embroiled in a set-to, as they might say, that was not pleasant for anybody. Didn't take long, 2 or 3 minutes probably at the max. No physical at all. We never laid a hand on each other. But I argue still to this day that we did more damage with our tongues in those 3 minutes than we could have done with our fists in the same 3 minutes. More long-lasting damage, more hurtful damage. And then it was over. He was gone. He slammed the door. I can still remember the window reverberating in my door in my office from where he slammed it, which I didn't care. I was just every bit as mad as he was. And I was storming around in my office, you know, chest all puffed out like I was going to do something, you know. When you work in an organization of about 400 people or 3,000 people, there's no question something like this is going to hit the wires pretty quickly. The only question is my boss going to find out? Well, sure he is. The only question then is, when? And that question was answered 15 minutes later. My boss, again, Jerry Brenda, that I mentioned earlier to you, called me in his office. I went over there. I'll never forget when I went over there. I thought to myself, I was so caught up in myself. It's embarrassing. But I thought to myself, I ain't taking any of his crap. I was looking for a job when I found this one. And I thought, I'm not saying a word, not one word in this meeting. And I went in, I don't have a chair here, but I went in and I reclined in the chair. You believe nonverbal language sends a message? Jerry was writing. His desk was clear except for one pad of paper. He was writing when I came in. I just sat down. I didn't say a word because I wasn't going to say a word. That was my intent. He called this meeting. He can talk. He wrote for a while, then he stopped. He looks up at me and he looks me right in the eye and he says, I understand you had a little bit of a problem a while ago. Just like that, almost a lilt in his voice. I understand you had a little bit of a problem a while ago. My one-word response, yep. Come on. The come on was inferred, okay? He didn't say a word. He didn't have to take that. That was insubordination right now just because of my attitude. But he also knew, see, Jerry was smarter. He was prepared. He was in control. He also knew if he said something at that point, I would flash back, and the next thing you know, I've got another problem that I had just 15 minutes ago. So he didn't say anything. Instead, he went back to writing. Right. I leaned back in the chair, and I swear I thought, he's scared of me. Is that cocky or what? But that's what I was thinking. He's writing. When he finished writing, he puts his pen down, he lays the pad, he turns it around, and without saying a word, he slides his pad across the desk to me. Well, it's obvious he wants me to pick it up and read it, so I did without saying a word. I pick it up and I read it. Doesn't take long to read it. It only has 5 words on the page. These are the words that I saw written on that page that day. When you lose your temper. That's it. I didn't understand it. Wasn't too terribly impressed by it. Slid the paper back across the desk to him. You want to talk, big boy? Talk. He didn't say a word. He picked up that pad of paper and his pen started writing again. When he finished, he turned around and slid it back. I looked and it said, "You lose." That's it. And that's when he started talking. He said, "You lose, boy." He said, "But it's not so important what you lost. It's much more important, not that you lost, it's what's much more important is that you understand exactly what it was that you lost." He said, in 15 minutes ago, you were able to lose professionalism, credibility, and integrity. He said, "Phil, a lot of people are already saying that I ought to fire you, that you've lost what it takes to be in the position that you're in, that you're too young, that you're too immature, that you're too volatile." He said, "I've told them to judge him on his accomplishments, not on his age. I've said that until today." He said, "I hope you realize that John is back in his work area or back in the parking lot or in the breaking room or wherever he is, he's talking to other people about this experience." And he said, they're saying, "Man, what happened in there? You got to old Phil? You cranked old Phil up, didn't you? Nobody's got to Phil. How'd you do it? I might like to try." He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Now you're vulnerable and people know it." He said, "Phil, I'm not going to fire you." He said, "I could. Some would argue I should, but I'm not." He said, "I'm not going to even write you up." Then he looked at me and he said these words. He said, "After all, what is it that I could do to you that's worse than what you've already done to yourself?" He said, "But I'm also not going to help you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to let you be aware that if there is any help for you, it's the help that you find for yourself. In other words, it's what you decide to do." I made up my mind. I left that office that day, understanding clearly what I had lost. And I went back to my office. I made up my mind I will never lose my temper again, in public at least. Does that mean I've never been angry? No. I still got a quick temper, but you're not going to see it. You're not. Because I know how much I have to lose, and it's not worth it for me. You have a lot to lose as a transformational leader too if you can't control your own emotions.